So today I'm going to look at fixing a set of Logitech G29 pedals. Mine have started to play up when I'm racing. The accelerator and the brake are intermittent. They're not working correctly and it's almost unraceable. So we're going to take them out and clean the potentiometers. I've been at this a few times already, but I haven't actually taken the potentiometers apart, so it's got to a stage where blowing them out and spraying them with cleaner is just not doing it. So we're going to release it from the rig, get it all disconnected and over to where we can work on it. So we'll bring it over to the bench, and for this we're going to need some Allen keys. A lot of Allen keys holding this, well not a lot, but there's a few Allen keys holding this together. We're going to need a 10 spanner. I've just got a little screwdriver there if I need it. A small Phillips, a little bit bigger Phillips. A screw gun helps, cause a lot of screws to take out and it just helps to speed it along. I'm going to use some cotton earbuds to clean the potentiometers and a bit of spray there from whatever I need. So it's kind of all you need to get her apart and get her cleaned up. Bit of a pen and paper there in case I need to take some notes so I can put it back together. So first things first, we'll get the pedals out of the rig and onto my bench, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so now we have our pedals on the bench, and I'm going to take off the pedals first. I think, is it a 3? No, it's not. Looks like it's a 2.5mm Allen key, which I have in my handy dandy screw gun. So we'll take these out. The screws for the brake and the clutch are a little bit longer than the accelerator. Just keep getting them back in. There's our 3 pedals off. These were my little inspection holes from getting in at it. I was able to get in there, blow a bit of air down there and put a bit of spray in, some contact cleaner, without taking the whole thing apart. It made it much quicker, but still a pain to do it all the time. So I need to take it off my backing plate. I need to take off my backing plate, which I don't know what way you have yours mounted, but this is on the plate that came with my rig, so I just whip this plate off. Take that plate away because we need it. That's just for mounting this in my rig. So now we have little Phillips screws. I think there's 4 there. Four sunk down a bit lower. Then we've got 2 here in the corners. We've got 2 on the top. And then there's 2 little sneaky fellas hidden down in behind the carpet catch, which I don't put in anymore because they're just a little fecker, so I don't bother with them. So we'll whip out a few of the little screws. Here are 6 I have to get with my little Phillips, and then get these 6. Try not to lose them, and probably be squeaky if they all don't go back in. So I think that's it for them screws. And there she goes. We'll just flip it back over. Them screws will fall out. Just then put the screws down to the side. That's all. Now, just lift it up lightly, and then you have to release the so the little cable stay just here to hold. I only have one screw in it, so you can pop it straight off. We'll get rid of that. Now, here we have our accelerator, our brake, and our clutch. Potentiometers are on the side here, and what I was doing is I was just spraying down into the little hole, blowing out the little holes, and putting a bit of spray down in them, but that's just not cutting the mustard anymore, so we're going to have to open them up. I didn't really want to, I was dreading it, but they're unusable now, so what are you going to do? The first thing, I'm going to disconnect the wiring, and here's where the pen and paper comes in. So we'll take down what cable goes on to which. So we have our accelerator pedal, and we'll just go top, middle, bottom. So top is red, then we have orange, and then we have black on the bottom. And for our brake we have red, white and black. Red, white, black. And fire. We're not going to do the clutch because I don't use the clutch. I haven't got time. Just going to take off these. I'm actually going to remove the pedals so it's easier to get at them. So the screws for the pedals, they're held in by Phillips screws. Two, 4 in each. 2 top, 2 bottom. Slightly bigger Phillips screwdriver you can use for that. You whip these out. A little fella, so. Ah. That should be the pedals released. Grab them so it doesn't pull out any of the wiring. And I've done the clutch and the brake. Great. We'll put the clutch back in. When you're looking at it backwards, huh? Looking at it backwards. Took out the wrong one. Okay, release the accelerator. Strip as many screws as you go, that's the sole way to do it. Strip them screws. Lift our back around. Okay, so now we're here. So we'll pull these off. Do I have it? I can pull them off. We'll pull off our little connection. So what we got there, we have a little Phillips holding on, and what looks like in there. So we're gonna have to get that little fella off. These off. Pull them that hard. Try not to do that. That's not good. Nice and easy. Get that one off. Get that one off. So there we have the accelerator handy dandy A on it there from factory. So I know you know the feel of it anyway. You know the feel of it. So just try and do the same here with our brake. Take this little screw off the earth. And then take the cable off. 1. Come out. Tight. 2. 3. Right. The wiring is so flimsy. Yeah, we'll get them out of the way. Now we have the bits that we need. Get that out of the way. Brake pedal and accelerator pedal. So now we need to get at the inside. Right, so now we have the pedal away from the body. You have to get in at the accelerometer. So in there, inside there is where I want to clean. So I'm going to take this bolt out, release the pedal set, and then get the potentiometer out of its home, pull the little cap off, give it a cleaning. So let's get on with it. So we've got on this side, we've got 10mm nuts, and on this side here we have a, I don't know what size that is, a 5mm Allen key. So what we want to do before we take it apart is take note of inside there. There's a little cog in there, so just take note of what tooth goes into which for when you put it back together, because you could put it back wrong. So just inside there, I've drawn a little picture on my notepad which way the cogs are, so when we're putting it back together I should have no problem. So we'll get this pedal off and see how we go. We'll release this bolt here first. It's a lock bolt, so you're going to be needing your Allen key. And you'll release that. Should just take a bit of pressure off the bolt and it should come out. There we go. Leave that to the side, and then we'll just take the accelerator pedal straight off. Leave that to the side. Oh, it's the brake we're doing at the minute. So inside the brake we've got our spring and a chopped up rubber, because I tried to mod it before and did not like it, not one bit. So we'll leave that to the side, that out of the way, and give this a little wiping. Get some of the dirt out. Right. So we need to get in here, and there is a little retaining, I don't know what you call that, a little retainer, and there's a tiny little flap we need to bend out of the way to release that retainer, and then the whole assembly comes apart. There's another little 11mm nut in there we need to get at. So first we need to bend back this little tab, very hard to see, bend that little tab back and pull this off. So we'll try and get that done. So I like to use a little knife to try and get in at the tab, and it ain't easy. Tiny little hole where you can get in at, and just start working it back little by little till you can get enough to get in at it. Probably the trickiest bit of the whole lot. Bending that tab back, work it back. Yeah, we're getting there. That little tab worked back out of the way, so that should release this little ring. Here she comes. So get that little ring out of the way. Don't lose it. So there she goes. I'll keep that to the side there. Then the little gear set comes off here. Just pull that off. It's on a little shaft going into the potentiometer. I'm going to pull that off, spring and everything. The little spring hooks onto this little tab, and then the other side of the spring hooks onto the gear. We just pull that spring off, pull the whole gear out, spring and all of them go. Try and leave it together. Makes it a bit easier going back together. So we just leave that there. Now what we have is a little 11mm little locking nut, and it's a little serrated washer in behind it there. So we'll just nip off this little 11mm locking nut and a little serrated washer, I believe, in behind it. Nut, and then the potentiometer just comes straight out like so. So there she be. We want to take this little cap off, get in there, clean the innards out. Four little tabs here we need to get in underneath them and just peel them back slightly. Then with a little bit of jigging, this little cap will come off, and that will give you access into where you need cleaning. Let's have a pop at that. I'm going to use my little bottle opener knife. Seems to do the job to get in underneath these tabs. Bend these tabs back just enough so I can get my little tool underneath. Don't stab yourself in your fingers. That's that one. Last one. Yep. I'm gonna get little snips and just bend them back out of the way. Bend him back. Bend him back. Bend this fella back. And then hopefully this cap will come off. There we go. So that's it, now we're inside. We have a board that it reads on, looks pretty dirty. And we've got the little pins here that rotate around this little, I don't know what you want to call that, little circuit board. So there you have your little, that's mad. That's all one. So anyway, excuse me, we've got little pins on this fella we want to clean up, or just be very gentle with them, and we'll give them a tiny little cleaning. That pin there looks like it's bent. Something looks like it's bent there, so I'm going to straighten that out. That's definitely a problem, that is. Definitely. So we'll cut that out. So it's probably for me poking stuff in it, trying to clean it out. That could be the problem with my brake. So we'll give that a cleaning. We'll straighten out that pin and take from there. So I'm going to use a cotton bud. I'm going to soak it with a bit of degreaser. And I'm just going to lightly swab around it, and then I'm going to hit it with a bit of contact cleaner. So we'll wet up our cotton bud with the degreaser. We just give it a wipe. Get this all cleaned up. Don't need to go mad on it, just give it a nice wipe. I like to go with the grain of it. There's a little bit of dirt on it. A little bit of dirt. So we'll keep going with that. Do the same with these little pins. We'll just give them a little dabble, do you? Little dabble, do you? There's definitely something wrong with that pin. Just wait for that to dry off. Which pin is bent? If they're part of the same metal band, does it matter? I'm kind of have them matching the opposite side here, so I'd say that's kind of where they need to be. Look good. That's all one. That's all one metal piece, so it doesn't really matter if they're touching. Just once they're touching this, which could have been my problem. So we're going to hit this now with a bit of contact cleaner. Spray a bit onto the yellow cotton bud. Clean that up there now. Contact cleaner. Oh yes, it's better already. Contact cleaner. I'm just going to give a little dabble do you on the contacts. Okay, make sure there's no switch. Okay, stick her back together. That's pretty much all you can do with that. Give it a wipe when you're cleaning. Don't go mad. Definitely scratched up the bits. Okay, let's put her back together. So, cap. It goes this way. And then the contacts sit inside this. Yeah, that did better. They were definitely bent, them pins. Definitely bent. And this cap goes back on. I'm not sure whereabouts they should be. I think it should be like that. This cap goes back on. Something doesn't feel right. Don't force it. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Don't force it until it sits nicely without force. Bend these pins back over. give them an extra squeeze, make sure everything there is tight. For some reason that doesn't look right. Darn it. Open these back up. Gonna be a lot of editing with all my mistakes. I'm going to be bending them pins too often, they will break. So we'll put this lad back in. I don't know, it's just goes that way, doesn't it? Up and down. Goes that way. Yeah. Everything still feels nice. Okay, we'll bend these pins back down. Give her an extra squeeze with the pipe grips, just to get them snug. Not too much force, just till they're snug. Okay, that's our potentiometer back together. So now we need to put her back into the pedal set. Into the chassis of the pedal set. That's the back of it. So potentiometer goes in here. Two little plastic little locating pins on the back of the potentiometer go into the two little holes there. So straight up and down with them. Make sure the pins are facing to the back of the pedal. Then what will be next will be the serrated locking ring. Get him on. Then the little 11mm locking nut. Get that on. Spin it up. Just give that a tiny little nip. It wasn't tight, so just a little. Just do feel a little bit of force back in there, so you don't want to strip that. That'd be a disaster. Next, the gear that links to the pedal. There's only really one orientation it can go in, so we know that this little tab hits the back of the chassis. Inside here it's only a half circle, so it only fits the shaft and the potentiometer one way. We'll line them up the way they should be and it'll go straight on. We'll bend the spring back, we'll put the spring back onto its little tab, so that should all just slide back in easy like. There we go. Boom, she's in, and we just click this spring back into its little tab. Make sure it's all sitting right. Have a little, feels like it's working right. Okay, so now we need to get this stupid little clip back on the end of it. So we'll fold in its little tab. We'll fold back in its little tab, and then we'll put it back on the shaft. So we'll fold that in. Might be too much. Let's see what it's like. Fold it in. End it down. Once there's a bit of force on it going onto the shaft, it ain't coming back off. So just make sure there's a bit of resistance pushing it down along. There we go, on the shaft. That's not coming. Oh, hang on. Just check. Just not tight enough. Another little smidgen. You don't want that to come off like that. Just give it another little squeeze, a little bit more. Look. See what that's like. better now. Now it won't come off. Oh, she's on. Right. Next, we'll put the pedal back on. Brake pedal. So, a little white spacer goes in there. So the pedal basically goes in there. We'll put in our spring, our rubber that we cut and then we put back together. That goes in there. There. Now remembering what orientation your gears went back together, I'm looking through my little hole and I'm putting them back into the tooth space it was supposed to be in and not one in the difference, because I would say that makes a difference. We'll put through our bolt. I tell me I'm not. We will tighten this back up. Feels good. Everything inside there seems to be working the way it should work. Everything's moving nice and easy, nice and free. Nothing sounds like it's making any weird noises. So that hopefully is that potentiometer cleaned. So now we just need to stick our pedals back into our frame. So we get our frame back up onto the bench here. Whoops. Here's our base with our wiring. Alright. So probably better to on the residue from the spray I've been spraying into it. Just give it a little clean while we're here. Right. We'll stick back on our little cables onto our connectors. And then we'll put it back together and hopefully it works. Hopefully. So putting back in the right pedal in the right place. So that's my brake. And for my brake cable we had red at the top. I want these to be tight going on as well. If they feel loose, I'm going to take them back off and give them a squeeze. It feels alright. We had red, then we had, for the brake, we had red, then we had white. Stick him back on. And then we have black. Stick him back on. Now, then with this little black here, remember? So he goes back on to that little screw hole there. And our little screw is here. Little screw, tiny little Phillips. Just stick that back on. So, she's on. Leave that in its home for the minute. Where does that sit? Let's get him back in his home. We'll throw the accelerator pedal back on. And at the top we had red. we had red. And then we had orange. And then we had black down the bottom. So we get that back on. Then we throw this little earth back onto the chassis. Like shoot, little Phillips, little Phillips. And he's back on. Okay, nice and tight. Nice and tight. Put him back in his home. And we're on the home stretch. We are on the home stretch. So we'll stick the screws back into the bottom of these pedals and fix them back into position onto the deck. So we'll just start them off with. Two to start, and then I'll flip it around so stuff doesn't fall off me. Right, just for a sanity check, we'll do a sanity check after, but that is the accelerator, that is the it is the accelerator, it is the brake, before we mold it all back up, and it's not what we thought it was. So we'll throw these back in. It's too much throwing shorties. Here we go, pedals back in. Everything feels good, feels tight. Everything's back on, feels good, nothing touching. Everything on feels good. So we'll put the cover back on. And that's about it. That is about it. So putting the cover on, just be careful not to pinch the wiring, because I have done it. Careful not to pinch the wiring. So he goes back up in there like that with a little clip. There we go. I just like to keep an eye on the wiring as the cover goes back down to make sure you're not pinching. Took it all in. We can look down through the pedals. Look down through the pedal holes to make sure you're not pinching anything. it back together. If it doesn't fit exactly perfectly back together, it could mean you're pinching the cable. So I think up here, I don't think that's sitting exactly properly. So it could be pinching the cable up in that corner. See it? It's just not seating correctly. Okay. You keep an eye on the cables again. There we go. Right. Well, it seems to be sitting back together there nicely. Apart from that bit. Something doesn't feel right. Something don't feel right. This time maybe. That's it now. You'll know when it's right. When it feels right, it's right. Now that feels right. So we'll stick back in our heap of screws. And then put it back in the rig and see if it's cured. And that's the name of the game. Sticking a couple of screws there to get it started. Pretty much it. Whack your screws back in and see where you're at. Last two up here. And that's the bottom of it put back together. As I said, I don't put in the two screws up in the top of there because they're just awkward, silly, no need. So we'll just stick the old pedals back on, remembering that the accelerator pedal is slightly not as wide and it uses the smaller of the screw compared to the longer screw here for the clutch and the brake. So we'll stick the shorter screws in. We will attach the pedals. There's also a little bit of adjustment on the pedals there. You have 3 different holes, so you can move them slightly in, slightly out to big foot, small foot. We will stick these bad boys in. I'm taking the lazy man route. We'll stick on the brake pedal, the clutch pedal. And that's it. And that's it. Stick it in your rig and see does it work. Hopefully it does. That'll be a waste of a hour's work. Thanks for watching. If you think it was any good, give us a comment, subscribe, like, whatever you feel yourself. Hopefully I won't have to do this again for a while. Thanks for watching.